The Local Lick Show right here on Vintage Radio 107.7 WQUD, Erie Quad Cities. I am Johnny Dollar, broadcasting live from the Rhythm City Casino Studios here in downtown Erie, Illinois. And The Local Lick Show is brought to you by Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic, the Quad City's largest new and pre-owned motorcycle, scooter, and off-road vehicle dealer. Check them out at 4426 State Street in Bettendorf, Iowa. And a perfect day to go for a ride if you want to. Or at the very least, check out their wide selection of vehicles. That's Brenny's. Check them out online, brennys.com. Well, so glad you can join us today on this beautiful Saturday afternoon here on Vintage Radio and the Local Lick Show. And I am so pleased to tell you we have a special guest in studio. That's right. I told you about it last week and the week before, and we are here with Mr. John Janssen. John, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Johnny.
Yeah, no problem. And, man, you've got some great stuff. And thanks to Josephus, who's usually on before me, told me about you and sent in your CD. And instantly, I could tell, man, you got quite the chops already for your music. And we love hearing you. And actually, we've had somebody called in 2 weeks ago. I played one of your songs and said, "Hey, who was that?" So,
awesome.
Yeah, that's always good, and that's what we like to do: is support our local artists. And John, this is your first time at the station, correct?
Correct. It is.
All right, and so this is your first time on the air. So please introduce yourself to everybody out there in Radioland.
Okay. My name is John Janssen. I'm originally from the big town of Prophetstown, Illinois, not too far from here. Went to college for music, ended up in Nashville, Tennessee for quite a few years, pursued music down there, and ended up coming home after about 10 years of doing that. Did okay, never got the big deal, but
yeah.
But met a lot of great people, made a record down there, and learned all about the music business, really. And I've been home for 15 years now. I'm a welder at John Deere Harvester in East Moline, Illinois.
Go East Moline.
I actually live west of DeWitt, Iowa, out in the country, outside of a town called Calamus, Iowa. Crossed the river to get here today. And a couple years ago, just decided, it's time to do a little bit more than cover shows. Been doing cover shows my whole life, and started writing again, and built up a little studio of my own, and wrote enough good songs that I decided I was going to turn it out, and make a record.
Yeah. So when you started doing your own music, how much of that schooling, how much of that experience doing cover bands, and how much of that experience living in Nashville, how much does that play into that?
Quite a bit. And, when you're in Nashville, you're trying to achieve a goal. You're trying to make the dollar and get the attention, and you lean towards doing what you think people want to hear. And at my age, I decided to make a record to just exactly what I wanted to hear. So that actually, I guess in an opposite effect, played a big role in how this record turned out.
Yeah, and I think it's important that artists play or write what they want to, because you can hear it in the music. And every time we have somebody in, it always comes up, you can hear the passion in the song if it's something that's from experience or something that they want to do, rather than, like you said, what people wanted to hear. Because it's no fun playing something what people want to hear.
Right.
Because, that's what they want, not what you want. So that's great, yeah. So you were in Nashville. What else did you play in, different bars or venues and, like stuff like that?
Not a lot. When I was in Nashville, I was mainly writing and meeting people. I did get a consistent gig for about a year, where I actually played in a Chinese restaurant every Friday and Saturday night for almost a year. And actually, that was the way I met, most of the people that supported me. I was working with somebody actually at Sony ATV and stuff like that,
Wow.
and got a manager that way, all at that Chinese restaurant. So.
Wow, that's a story right there. Wow, I don't think anybody's ever played at wow.
Country music at
Country
a
music.
Chinese restaurant.
Well, I guess not too surprising being in Nashville. So do they have like a little stage and everything set up there?
I was in a corner.
Oh,
I was in
okay.
a corner, and I made tips and free supper every night. And he made good Chinese food.
Well, not bad. That sounds pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Well, we're going to do a song that you've done off your album. This one's called Little Things. And this might be the one that somebody called about a few weeks ago. So if they're listening, you get to hear it again. Tell us a little bit about this one.
This is basically a song about, growing up thinking you're going to be either a rock star or a baseball player or a football player or whatever. And when it all doesn't turn out, it's really okay. The song mentions welding at John Deere in East Moline, Illinois. And the little things are really what make it happen. And that's what this song's about.
All right, this is Little Things by John Janssen.
These days I'm a welder out here in the middle states. My father was a fitter, we've all had to earn our way. Grandpa was a farmer, it's a way of life around here. I spend my days on this factory line working for that old John Deere. Yeah. Good old-fashioned hard work, it's the order of the day. We all do what we gotta do, we don't know any other way. It's the feeling that you get from an honest dollar made. It's the way your lady feels when you're in her warm embrace. I may not be a rock star or play for a pro team, but I've got all these little things that make my life so sweet. Supper on the table, a cold drink every now and then. A family here with me each night, I do it all over again. Dad and Grandpa'd be so proud, even if I'm not worth a mill. Cause I get up and hit it hard each day, and they know I always will. Yeah. Good old-fashioned hard work, it's the order of the day. We all do what we gotta do, we don't know any other way. It's the feeling that you get from an honest dollar made. It's the way your lady feels when you're in her warm embrace. I may not be a rock star or play for a pro team, but I've got all these little things that make my life so sweet. Everybody's trying to be who everybody thinks they should be, but I'll stick with my little things, they make my life complete.
That is Little Things by our live in studio guest, John Janssen. Now, John, what age were you when you first had a strong interest in being a musician?
Well, I was introduced to music from my grandmother. She played organ, and she had one of those giant stereos that sat on the floor. And back then, it was a record player and an 8-track player with a FM AM radio.
Oh, those are always so cool.
And she would play a lot of music, but I was very influenced by folk music. She loved John Denver.
Mm-hmm.
So at that age, I really started getting very interested in music. And we had a great music teacher at Provincetown from K through probably 8th grade. He was the music instructor, Paul Ingwall. And he really nurtured, that. And I was singing, in front of the class and classmates and in school at a pretty young age. I think I performed at a talent show in the 5th or 6th grade. Was probably my first live performance. And then my classmates were probably tired of hearing me sing by the time we graduated from high school. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's John again.
Yeah.
But that's great, though. I mean, and I'm sure that helped get rid of your jitters. Or did you have any butterflies when you first started singing in front of people? Or it's just natural for you then?
Well, when you're young, you don't think about it as much. And I think as you get older, then you start to overthink. And,
yes, exactly.
And you can actually still get nervous when you're older.
Yeah, that is a good point. So you said John Denver was one of your first influences. Who else in your music is influenced you?
I think one of the most obvious is John Mellencamp. I really liked John Mellencamp growing up. And in my college years, I spent 4 years in the studio, and everything was very acoustic rock-based type material. So he definitely, without even knowing it, everything I did at that time, tended to sound like him. And this record isn't too far from it, really.
Right. Yeah, you can definitely hear it now that you mention it. Just take a few tracks and listen to it. And yeah. And you make it sound great, and you make it sound your own. Now, what did you learn in your music classes, whether it's in elementary school or in college? What did you learn, and what did you keep? What do you still use?
That's a good question. One of the biggest things you learn, as you're pursuing music is to try to be yourself, eventually be yourself. And that's with what you're writing, what you're singing, even how you're producing. I like producing. I made this record almost by myself, so I really enjoy producing it. And when you're doing it, you just try to be true to yourself. As cliche as that sounds, you just try to stay focused on that. And know who your influences are, but don't try to copy your influences is something I'd say I've learned over the years.
That is very well said. And it's something that gets brought up all the time when we have musicians in. And we have a lot of young musicians that tune in and out, and even older ones too. People are just starting maybe. I can't stress it enough. Like John said, be true to yourself, because if you start, people can hear it through the music. If you're playing something that somebody else wrote, you don't have that passion, that feeling, that drive. People can hear it in the music. And I think people can get burned out real fast if they're playing what other people want. If you're playing what you want to keep going and going and going.
Absolutely. When you're creating, you don't want to stop creating, and that's kind of the way this album went for me. I started out with just a couple songs, just for fun, and decided this is going so well, I'm just going to keep going with it.
Awesome. Well, you're going to do a live performance for us. What do you got for us then?
This song's called The Breeze, and it's pretty self-explanatory about thinking about or possibly living without somebody that's really important to you. I hope you find someone that makes your life complete. All the security, everything you could ever need. I hear the whispering of the pine, and it helps to ease my mind. I hope that you can trust. I hope you'll love again someday. Please let your heart heal and let it guide you on your way. I hear the whispering of the pine, and it helps to ease my mind. Loving you is easy when you made my life so sweet. I remember all those special times, all the memories I'll keep. As time went by, we grew apart. Was it you or was it me? Love that made the two of us is now somewhere in the breeze. It's not gone, it's just so far for us to find it in the wind. We can always hope and pray that it comes back this way again. Loving you is easy when you made my life so sweet. I remember all those special times, all the memories I'll keep. As time went by, we grew apart. Was it you or was it me? The love that made the two of us is now somewhere in the breeze. I hear the whispering of the pine, and it helps to ease my mind.
That's Mr. John Janssen live in studio here on the Local Lick Show. Johnny Dollar here, and we are broadcasting live from the Rhythm City Casino Studios, and the Local Lick Show is brought to you by Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic, 4426 State Street in Bettendorf, Iowa. We're going to do our first break of the hour, so get those bills paid, and when we come back, we'll have more with Mr. John Janssen right here on Vintage Radio.
Classic country and oldies. This is WQUD Erie, 107.7 Vintage Radio.
Welcome back to the Local Lick Show. Johnny Dollar here, along with our in-studio guest, Mr. John Janssen, and we are broadcasting from the Rhythm City Casino Studios. Now, John, I always ask this from our bands and artists. What is, in your case, what is the John Janssen writing process like? Do you sit and think about a song, or do you just write it down as it pops in your head throughout the day? Maybe when you're welding, you think of a great... Am I on to something there?
You asked a great question. There's two ways that it's been happening for the last couple of years. A lot is when I'm watching TV or movies, and I hear a very good quote. The first song I wrote for this album was from a Matthew McConaughey movie, where in the movie he was deceased, but you didn't know it till the end that he was actually not alive, and he had a relationship with his son, and they said, somewhere there's a you and me. It may not be in this on this earth, but somewhere there's a you and me, and I just clicked. So that was the first song I wrote, Somewhere There's a You and Me. But like you said, I'll get an idea for a song and I'll put it in my phone, and then I do a job where I don't have to think. So I'll be welding, and I'll literally work on the album while I'm welding, and I'll turn around, walk over to my phone, put some lyrics in, and it just kind of grows from there. And I've probably written half the lyrics to this album while welding.
Now, this isn't affecting your welding job. There's no combines rolling off the factory half welded.
No, they make sure the quality is still there.
Well, that is interesting, a way to do it while at work. But I mean, you gotta write it down no matter where it pops up, whether it's at work or wherever. Because I don't know about you, but I have a terrible memory. So I mean,
oh, yeah.
I mean,
the older you get, the worse it gets.
That's what I hear, and I'm feeling it. But well, that's cool. Now, when you're writing and you're coming up with the lyrics and all that, and you think you're done, how do you know when a song is ready to be recorded?
Since I have my own studio, I demo it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I just start building the song, in the computer. And when I feel like that song sounds like something that could be on a record or played for other people, then I'll go ahead and start recording it for final purposes. And hopefully by then, I know that it's a good tune.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit about your you got a studio, in-home studio, built yourself, I would imagine.
Yep. Yeah, I actually built my own house.
Oh, wow.
And, we had a studio out back in my steel building. And then I just started buying. I don't have a lot of equipment, but I have really good equipment, so that counts. And then I use actually Logic Pro X is a program I really like for my MacBook Pro, and that's a great product, and it allows you to start from scratch, but yet build an almost finished product.
And that's got to make it. I would think it makes it easier for you to do, like you said, demo it for yourself. Go in there and put something together and listen to it. And do you find that also as a way to escape the daily struggles? Go in the studio.
Absolutely. That is a completely different section of my day. Your day is just like anyone else's. You get up, you go to work, you do what you got to do, and then when I step in there, it's a whole new world, and I get to just be me for a little bit, not think about anything else, and it's really nice. I did have to finish the record up at Catamount Studios in Cedar Falls. Great studio up there. I just wanted to give them a shout out.
Sure, yeah.
Catamount. I mastered or mixed it there, and it was mastered by their engineer.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, great. Yeah, go ahead and give a shout out to the studios. We're going to do another song off your album, and this one's called Drivin'.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about that one.
This is a song about what you and I were just talking about. Your daily life can sometimes, drag you back, and it's about being married, and, you and your wife are just going through the same old day to day, and sometimes you just feel like driving.
You telling me. All right, here we go. This is Drivin' by John Janssen.
Another hard-ass day, all work and still no play. Where did I go wrong? We had a perfect home, big house and all our home, all that we could want. But it's a lot lately, just might drown it seems. Still I know I hold on. Just need to catch my breath, don't think about my debts. Come on, let's get it gone. Sometimes I feel like driving. Sometimes this life can be so damn hard. Let's take a break from feeling the way that we are. We have a lot these days, but all we do is pay. Keeping up with the dream. But now we need a break, no more worries today. Let's pack a bag and leave. Sometimes I feel like driving. Sometimes this life can be so damn hard. Let's take a break from feeling the way that the other night. You know we need this time to clear our heads. Call your mom, we'll drop the kids, put down the top hair in the wind. All we need is the highway up ahead. Sometimes I feel like driving. Sometimes this life can be so damn hard. Let's take a break from feeling the way that we are. Sometimes I feel like driving. Sometimes I feel like getting away. That open road has a way with the pain. Sometimes I feel like driving.
John Janssen with Drivin', and this is the Local Lick Show. And John, tell us a little bit about the album and how that went, and when did you record that, and about maybe some of the people that you've had on that album helping you out.
Yeah, I actually started recording it right around just before the pandemic started.
Oh.
No idea, of course.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that was coming.
Yeah.
So I ended up having a lot of time. We didn't go anywhere that year hardly at all. Less camping and vacationing and all that stuff. But started that in March of 2020, really. And was writing and recording at the same time, like a lot of artists do probably. And most of the stuff is myself, but the bass playing was all by a local guy out of Davenport, John Resch, who also has a band called John Resch and Doggin' Out. He's playing all the time. And he wrote the bass lines, which to me, that last song is a great example of what someone else came up with that I wouldn't have, and it gave the song its feel. So it was great to include him.
Yeah, and bass players don't get enough credit for whatever reason, but there was a study or something the other day that I heard that they had people listen to music, and they took different parts, different instruments out of the song during the song, and the most noticeable instrument that got taken away was the bass player.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, people don't realize how much that gives the song its sound. It really does. It can.
Yeah, and it did for that one. So getting off music for just a little bit, what do you do outside of playing music and working at Deere? What's your hobbies? What do you do for fun?
My wife and I camp a lot, travel. We're actually even for vacation tomorrow going to Duluth, Minnesota.
Oh, nice.
I've always wanted to visit Lake Superior. One of the reasons is the song "The Edmund Fitzgerald" by Gordon Lightfoot, a great folk artist, you know. And I love history, and I wanna tour the port there, and I think they have an Edmund Fitzgerald museum or something there, so that'll be great to see. But I'm also really into construction and building my own things. I designed and built my own house over an 8-year period, so.
Oh, wow.
I have a 7-acre little mini farm, and I built all the fence, so I stay pretty busy.
Yeah, it looks like you could build something. And Duluth, yeah, you know, it's a fun little place. There's a YouTube channel where they have a live cam of the harbor there of the ships passing by, so you're gonna go check that out. I mean, it's like right there at that bridge that goes up and down.
I'm looking forward to taking a boat tour that's gonna
cool.
explain, you know, how the port functions. I think that's gonna be really neat.
Yeah,
really neat.
And this time of year, visiting Duluth is good.
Yeah.
5 months from now, not so much.
Yeah. It's hot here right now, and I'll be glad for some cooler days.
Yeah, Duluth can get very, very cold.
I bet.
I think one of their streets, there's a few streets that are heated. It gets so cold up there that there's some streets that get heated.
I've seen that in Colorado. Aspen, Colorado has some heated streets.
Couldn't use that around here.
Yeah.
Anyway, out of that, we got another song, or you got another song for us that you're going to do live. What do you got for us then?
This song's probably one of my favorites off the record. It's called Miss the Magic, and it was inspired by a band my stepson and I really love called the Steel Woods. Came out with a song, and I heard just the first line and saw a picture off of YouTube of a little kid riding a bike. And it just took me back, and I said, boy, look at that. That kid has a magical look on his face. I miss the magic of being a kid. So that's what this one is. Everything's always so perfect. Everything's always just right. You don't know any better. You just know that's your life. Two wheels and two pedals was the way we got around. A friend on every corner, not a stranger in town. Skin knees and make-believe, we're a part of most days. We didn't have fancy devices, we just knew how to play. I miss the magic of being a kid. Find $1 on the sidewalk and believe that you were rich. Grandma spoiled us right, Grandpa taught us how to fish. I miss the magic of being a kid. Good times last forever. The bad just passes by. Your world is small and simple. It's all mom and apple pie. Like a band of outlaw bikers, with that dollar we had found, we'd ride like hell back again, chase that old ice cream truck down. I miss the magic of being a kid, catching dewworms in the moonlight, never wanting to go in. Mom would sing to us on the stairway, tuck you in, give us a kiss. I miss the magic of being a kid. It's the innocence I really miss, not worrying what tomorrow brings. Just a love for life right then and there, just a joy of being a kid. I miss the magic of being a kid. Playing wiffle ball till the sun went down. We could barely see ahead. Dance and sing to our favorite records. We just knew we'd make it big. I miss the magic of being a kid.
John Janssen, our special guest here on the Local Lick Show. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have more with John right after this. So please stay tuned.
Excuse me, Andy. I am swamped with phone calls out there about whatever Johnny is doing on the air.
Oh, how many?
3.
Well, you just do the best you can.
What am I doing on the air? I'm bringing you the Local Lick Show. Johnny Dollar here. Live in studio with John Janssen, our guest for today. And do not forget, the Local Lick Show brought to you by Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic. Quad City's largest new and pre-owned motorcycle, scooter, and off-road vehicle dealer. Check them out at 4426 State Street in Bettendorf, Iowa. All right. Back we go with our interview with John Janssen. And John, what do you listen to in your playlist, or when you're at work or driving home? What do you listen to these days?
Great question. I would say this album was influenced a lot by a man named Slade Cleaves. He's fairly unknown, but he's actually from Pennsylvania, resides around Austin, Texas for the last, I think, 20 years. And he's been making records for about 20 years. And he's more of a folk artist, but he's what you would think someone from Pennsylvania would sound like if they've been in Austin, Texas for 20 years. That's about what he sounds like. But he is a great lyricist, writes some great songs, and you can feel that the truth is in his words. I mean, he's singing about what he knows. So Slade Cleaves. I love a guy named Brent Cobb. There's a new Southern rock band out in the world called the Steel Woods. I think they've got a little bit of play on this station. Steel Woods and Blackberry Smoke are new Southern rock bands, and I really like them. And as far as new artists, Paul Cauthen is also are you familiar with Paul?
I think he's got that song Cocaine Blues, I think it is. Yeah.
Cocaine Country Dancing.
Cocaine Country Dancing. Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking that.
Cocaine Country Dancing.
Yeah.
So out of the new artists, those are a lot of our favorites that we listen to around our house.
Well, okay, that's a pretty good collection there, and all really good stuff. The Paul Cauthen, found out about him about a couple months ago. So yeah,
nobody sounds like Paul Cauthen.
yeah. He definitely has his own sound, and that's great. You know that everybody has their own sound. That's how you stand out. So for you, what does the future hold in your world of music? You got anything you're working on, or?
I've started writing songs for the second record. Trying to co-write this time. I wrote all the songs for the first record by myself, so I'm going to try and co-write, switch things up just a little bit, a little more flavor in the record. But I won't turn it out till it's ready. You know, I'll take my time and make sure I have at least 10 or 11 really good songs before I turn that out. And I'm also trying to. I've kind of given up on the cover show, so I'm not playing very much. You know, like you said, you get burnt out singing that stuff for as many years as I have.
Yeah.
But I will be doing a show of my own music in Iowa City, September 23rd, and I'll have that on my Facebook and stuff. But just trying to play my music as much as I can, which isn't, as easy as you might think if you're not willing to do covers for 3 hours.
I can only imagine.
Play my music and keep trying to write better songs is really what I'm trying to do.
Move forward, move ahead. That's great to hear. All right, we're going to do another song. Your last song for the day. This one's called Friday Night in a Small Town. I just love the title. Yeah, I can just picture it already. So tell us a little bit about this one.
Well, not too far from here. Prophetstown, Illinois is where I grew up. Went to K through 12 right there. And the song came about because I played high school football. A pretty decent high school football player, and that feeling of being under the lights on a Friday night, I always wanted to try to translate into a song. And the song isn't just all about that, but it definitely mentions what a Friday night is like. And I think it's also a looking back song like Miss the Magic, but it's more of your teenage years of, you know, a Friday night when you're free, you got $20 in your pocket, and you're headed uptown, and your girl's up there, and all your friends are there, and that's all it takes. It doesn't take much else. You know, it doesn't matter if you're sitting outside your cars or whatever. You know, it's just a Friday night in a small town was a great way to grow up, and I'll always appreciate it.
Oh, boy. I wish we could all experience that again. So here we go. Friday night in a small town, John Janssen. Friday night in a small town. John Janssen. John, before we go, can we find your music anywhere online? Can we buy CDs or anything like that? Some merch?
Yeah, it's everywhere online. It's on Pandora, Spotify, Amazon Music. You can buy it on iTunes. I have a YouTube channel which will have some live performances pretty soon, so I'd like everybody to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and everything's just John Janssen.
All right, makes it easy. So there you go. Please support John Janssen, quite a talent and a great guy. And John, thank you so much for coming into the studio today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and we had fun, and we'll have this broadcast posted later up on our YouTube channel. So while you're on the YouTube channel, we'll post a link to your YouTube channel, and please help John out. And again, please help all of our local and regional artists here in the area. This is the Local Lick Show,